300 points per bureau.
300 points in total, wow.
Less than 30 days.
Wow.
Let me tell you what you can do right now, and then we all pray.
Credit is everything, and there's so many areas of where you could leverage it. Vehicles, I mean, just not too long ago, you leveraged, a home equity line of credit. I've seen just so many different stories, right? Like, I've had clients where they use their credit to get a business loan.
Right.
Home equity lines of credit. I mean, we could go on and on.
It's what makes us go day by day and keep doing this, that type of thing.
More than money, it's about empowerment. Welcome to MSI Wealth Chronicles. My name is Ricardo Mendiola, and this is Jesse Hartman. And Jesse, why don't you tell everybody what we're going to be talking about today?
Absolutely. Actually, we want to say thank you to you, because so many people, they start on that journey and they look, they choose us. And that we sit back and realize that's kind of an honor. That really is an honor for them to come to us in a moment where they're down and they're not able to make that step up, and let us help them along that road. Sometimes it's being in our program. Sometimes it's about getting advice. Sometimes it's just giving them a direction. Yeah. But you can't really underestimate or value that kind of how hard it is for them to reach out.
I mean, a lot of our clients are, when they come to us, they're vulnerable, and the fact that they do give us the opportunity when they have a million opportunities out there to choose from, and they choose us, we truly are grateful for that. So
I agree. Completely grateful is the word. And so today, let's tell them a little bit about some of the experiences that we've had, and some of the experiences our clients have gone through, and why we do what we do.
Yeah.
I
mean, my main, success stories, for my clients are going to be, for the fact that we do, of course, MSI Credit Solutions does credit repair, but then we also have in-house housing department here as well. So we help out our clients with housing needs as well. So, my main thing is going to be seeing clients be able to purchase their first home, and just seeing the smile, on their faces whenever they do close on the home, and then, that continues. That success continues,
right?
Because I see clients be able to buy a house for the first time ever, and whenever they do that, it's just a nice, warm feeling that they get. But then truly, they don't really start seeing the benefits, though, you could say, until later, right?
No, sure.
One of the first benefits that you see is now whenever you're making a payment every single month, it's going towards something instead of it just going, towards your landlord's, equity, you could say.
Right.
And then the best part is, whenever I've seen actual clients that purchase a home after they went through our program,
right,
when they actually sell that house, or whenever they do a cash out refinance, that's whenever I actually get to see hands-on, what kind of benefits our credit repair program did for them. Like, let me give you an example. Yeah. I've seen it where a client comes to us, they fix their credit,
right,
they purchase a home. 2 or 3 years later go by, and 2 or 3 years goes by fairly quickly, right?
Much faster than you think.
Yeah, and in those 2-3 years, I mean, what could happen in real estate is crazy. Like, number one is appreciation.
Right.
I would say that's probably the number one benefit that I get to see hands-on with my clients. Is here we are 2-3 years after they purchase their home, they call me, they say they want to buy another home because they have a bigger family now, so they have different needs. And then whenever we run comps, comparative market analysis, on their current house that they purchased after they fixed their credit, when we run the comps and see that their $300,000 home that they bought, when they fix their credit, is now worth $450, and to see whenever we sell their home and they get a 100. I mean, I've seen it all. I've seen a $25,000 check at closing, 50, 100. I think the biggest check that I've seen one of my clients get at closing was right around like 125, 130. I mean, just imagine that.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine that. I mean, what is the average median household income here in the DFW area or in Texas, right? And imagine just getting 125, 100, 75, whatever it might be, whenever you sell your home. And really, I mean, what did you do? You didn't do anything. All you did was finance a home, because you were going to continue to pay rent somewhere.
You're paying somebody's mortgage.
Yeah, now you're paying your own.
No matter what.
Yeah. So I would say that's what really hits a home run for me, is whenever a client sells their home and upgrades to a bigger home, or maybe they downsize. You know,
Right.
I've had that as well, where now they're an empty nester and they downsize, and then they're actually amazed as well because they don't keep up with their value like a realtor does.
Right.
So when they have lived in their house for 2-3 years, and then they tell me to sell it, and I run comps for them, I run a net sheet. You know, I
Right.
see what their home is worth, see what they owe. Okay, the difference between what the home is worth and what they owe, that's what they're going to net.
Right.
When I tell them what they're going to net, oh my goodness, I've had clients cry before. You know?
Well, I mean, you don't think about that, especially on your first home
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
Well, my first home, I didn't think about what money I was saving back
Yeah.
in the value of the house
Yeah.
itself. And then we went to sell the house because literally we found a place we wanted to build a home.
Yes.
Not very far away. And then when she came back and we got on our first house, I want to say 60,000.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, what?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
You know, and it's one of those, all I was doing before was just living.
Yep.
And by just living, that's setting me in a better spot now.
Exactly. Yep. And I also like the fact that whenever a client goes through our program, I see this all the time. They become, you could say, anal now about credit because now they paid someone like us to fix their credit.
Right.
They value it more, you could say. And, how they take care of it and just the moves that they make. I've seen just so many different stories, right? Like I've had clients where they use their credit to get a business loan.
Right.
Home equity lines of credit. I mean, we could go on and on. I mean, do you have a personal story?
I got a
for one of your
couple of
clients?
them actually. I will tell you. You're talking about a business loan. We had a partner and a gentleman who started with us, and a really nice guy. He was wanting to open his own business, and before he went to go, he had like a 620
Yep.
on his credit, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to try anyway." And I was like, "I want you to understand, they're going to treat you very different
Yeah.
now than they will later." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And I told him, I said, "Look, you're going to go there. You're going to give your information. They're going to put everybody who is wanting to get a business loan that day in a particular waiting room, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to call some of y'all in there, and you're going to think you're waiting your time, and it's never going to happen."
Yeah.
And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "It's never going to happen. Your score's low enough that there are going to be other people they're going to want to hand that money to first. They just don't want to have that conversation with you. So they'll tell you to come back another time."
Yeah.
And he got out of there, and it was probably 2 days later because he was probably mad enough about it
Yeah.
that he called me and talked to me, right? Well, let's see. What was it? I can actually tell you the time period. I actually held those scores just for such an occasion. I pulled them earlier.
Nice.
It was a 610 is where he started. So he actually stayed in our program for 8 months.
Okay.
And he was at a 748
Wow.
when he went back.
Wow.
From a
130?
610. He was a 602, 610, 610.
Wow.
And he was at a 748, 750.
Wow.
Right? And he goes, "Yeah, I'm going to go back in. I'm going to put in for my business loan." I was like, "You're going to have a very different response this time." I said, "Don't get mad realizing how differently they treat you." And he goes, "What do you mean?" "You're going to walk in there. They're going to sit you down. The first thing they're going to do, they're going to pick you up and they're going to take you in office. And they're going to offer you cookies, a drink. They're going to ask you if there's anything you'd like to have. They'll have somebody in just a moment. If there are going to be any delays, they're going to come in and you're going to feel like you're royalty."
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, they just have you pull in a room." I said, "Go ahead, watch." And he wasn't sure whether he wanted to be mad or joyous about the response he got the second time through. But, there's that thing that we talk about, why we're thankful about doing what we do is how much better do our clients feel when they have that opportunity where when they go into an institution like a bank and the person at the counter looks at their score and suddenly you're important.
Yeah.
Because most of the time when you walk in those places, if you're not up there in that score, I've been there.
Yeah.
I know you have too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You walk in there, you're begging to speak to somebody, and now here it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So really kind of a cool moment.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have a specific client also. I saw him once he fixed his credit, he wanted to expand his business. He wanted
Right.
to grow it. It was a landscaping business. And right in front of my eyes, I saw it happen. As soon as we got his scores up, I think for him, about after 4 months of being in our program, he went up right around like 140 points. And yeah, I mean, now he has a couple locations of his landscaping business. So, I mean, there's so many stories, and I mean that's kind of the fuel for me. What keeps me going in this industry is all those client success stories, and it doesn't just stop after they achieve their number one goal of why they got into our program, right? It's continuous. Right. It's continuous on how they keep benefiting from us improving their credit scores.
Sure. And, I find it entertaining. Some of them call back later.
Yeah.
Like they'll call back and they don't need our help, but they do need, they don't need us to work on their service at that point. But a lot of them call in and talk to their consultant, or if they were partners, I've gotten the calls, I'm for sure you have. Yeah. And they're going, hey, this is where I'm at right now, and I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think about it? Yeah. And it's almost like being that odd uncle in a family. Yeah. Hey, we need to talk to Uncle Jesse. I just said Uncle Jesse. It's funny. I need to call my uncle and make sure that we got the right information on this. Mm-hmm. And it becomes one of those that, it's what makes us go day by day and keep doing this, that type of thing.
Yep. But hey, I have another client success story, and I'll go by first name, Stacy. She was going through a divorce, and she messed up her credit while she was going through the divorce.
Right.
And so, the main thing for us to be able to help them out is they can't be damaging the credit report anymore. So she got that taken care of. But anyways, she had one kid, so single mother. And I mean, I see a lot of that. I see a lot of single mother. But it was just so awesome, seeing her fix her credit, seeing her get a house. And same scenario of what I told you. The reason why I remember her specifically is she literally just called us this past summer, and she wanted to get something a little bit bigger because she got a townhouse. She got a townhouse whenever we helped her out. And anyways, this past summer, she wanted to get a single family home. She wanted to have a yard.
Nice.
This townhouse didn't have a backyard. So anyways, but it was so awesome. Just hardworking, single mother. And then we helped her get her townhouse in the summer of 2024. When was it? It was last year, 2023. But summer of 2024, she wanted to get a single family home. And same situation, what I told you. Whenever we ran the net sheet for her and told her what she was projected to net whenever she closed, she just started crying immediately right there. And so the net that she was going to net was almost, not quite 100,000, but almost 100,000. And it just gave her so many choices, because what we did with her is, when we did sell her house and she netted, it was like, I don't know, like $91,000, something like that. What she did is, she didn't take that whole $91,000. She didn't know this, right? She didn't take that whole $91,000 and put it on her next house.
Right.
What she did is she put 20% down on her next house, which there's benefits to putting 20% down on your house.
Absolutely.
So she was able to get that benefit. We could talk about that a little bit later. But anyways, she put 20% down on her house. And even though she put 20% down on her new home, she still had a bunch of money left over. And what she did with that money is she was able to pay down all her credit card debt down to zero. So when she got her new single family home, put 20% down, moved into her home, had zero credit card debt. I mean, she was just bawling the day of closing. I mean, she couldn't stop crying.
Well, yeah. I mean, she went from, hey, she's been struggling, fighting this far, to suddenly somebody actually, it's like somebody quit stepping on you.
Yeah. And she was hesitant about, she still talks about it to this day. She was really hesitant about signing up. I think single mother, on a budget,
right?
And so even though she was referred over to us by another client, still she was a little hesitant. I mean, she was protective of her money, of her situation, single mother. But anyway, she still talks about it to this day, that she's so glad that something told her to go ahead and pull the trigger, and then here she is. And kind of like we said earlier, it doesn't stop there. It'll probably happen again. Here in a couple of years, I don't know. She's going to want to move into another house or downsize or get something bigger, whatever it might be. And here you are. She's going to look up and have another $100,000 in equity. And I mean, where else what other situations? I mean, that's kind of what intrigued me to get into real estate. I mean, what kind of scenarios can you put yourself into where you could get, a huge check like that, 40, 50, 60, 20, 100,
Invent
125.
something.
And that's just the stories that I'm sharing, right? That's just the stories that I'm sharing.
Right.
I know that, real estate agents out there, other individuals could share success stories about their clients where they cleared 500, whatever,
Right.
But I'm just talking about, specific ones that I got to see myself, So where else can you get that? I'm not saying that it's impossible. It's not impossible, but it's hard to find, opportunities like that could feed you that type of opportunity. And it all started with getting your credit fixed.
What you're talking about really comes down to what the base reason we're proud of the clients, and we're proud of what happens for them, because this is one of the few platforms in the world where you can build that wealth in a manner where you're just living your life and doing the things that you're going to be doing anyway.
Because think about it. To me, credit is everything. I mean, what do they say? Reputation. Reputation is, reputation is key. And so credit is your reputation.
Without a doubt.
It's probably even more than the reputation, because think about it. Lenders can now just, with having your 7-digit number. Is it 7 digits, your social? Three? No, it's more than
4,
7
5,
digits.
4, 7, 8, 9.
I don't know where I got 7 from.
9 digits.
License number 7, right? I don't know. But anyways, having the 9-digit number, right? They input your 9-digit number, and immediately they know your reputation.
A lot about you. A whole lot about you, without a doubt.
And now your credit score will determine if you get approved or not, and it will determine at what interest rate. So I mean, credit is everything, and there's so many areas of where you could leverage it. Vehicles. I mean, just not too long ago, you leveraged, a home equity line of credit.
Hey, talking about thankful, I personally would like to say thank you to you. Yeah. I mean, seriously, I want to tell you where my world is in a matter of a few months. And it's because following your advice for like the first, what all of you watching need to know is, for like 2 years, I talked to him about a HELOC, and I'm fairly certain he was thinking I would never do it.
I understand. It has to be the right time.
You were talking about hesitant, and if you ever wonder if that hesitation is a normal feeling, it took me 2 years to get to HELOC. So that should tell you hesitation. I got the hesitation. I ended up taking your advice. I took every debt I had, paid every debt I had off. Right. And brought everything under control. As of, I think I pulled this number. This is this month's number, if I can get to it. I started at, and I had built it up being here for a while. When I first came on board, your wife pulled my credit to look to see if we could refinance. I had a 633 then.
Wow.
So
And now you're telling me where you're at now.
I had a 683 when I pulled the HELOC.
Okay.
Right? I am currently sitting at a 795.
Wow. Really?
I'm dead serious.
You really did.
I did, really?
Yeah. My scores aren't quite 790 because, as we know, and you might not know, but 30% of our score comes from debt.
Right.
And I have a lot of real estate under my name. So that debt is, it's not, any negative towards me, but it's preventing me from being, 800, 790,
I'd
whatever.
rather be in
I'm
your
still in the
spot.
mid-700s. But good, congratulations, though. I didn't know that you were already that high.
Yeah, and we're paying down. Well, part of that is because when I talked to you, you said make sure I'm consistent paying down the debt. We went from a $40,000 pull on it. We're down to $32,000. We figure by if we play our cards right and throw our extra money over the next year, we'll end up finishing 9 months early and paying it off.
Yeah. Wow.
And I will be sitting with at any time being able to reach in and pull $160,000, $170,000 at any time.
Wow, that's awesome.
And so what we're doing, we're looking, we're kind of keeping our eye open for the right opportunity. And moving forward, but that's made a huge difference in my wife's life. I've dropped a bunch of bills that I didn't realize were going to drop off. We ended up almost $2,000 a month going back to us.
And see, I'm excited about what you did because, let's say you do fix your credit. Let's say your goal is to get a home equity line of credit. A home equity line of credit is not just necessarily to be used for investment opportunities. Like, for example, even just paying down debt and having a cheaper interest rate, you could say that is an investment opportunity because you said that what was your average interest rate on all your debt that you had before the home equity line of credit?
Embarrassingly, it came out to like 25%.
So listen to that. So before his home equity line of credit, if you take his credit card debt here, whatever debt that he might have had, his average interest rate on all his debt was, what'd you say, 25?
About 25.
Yeah. And so what he did, instead of getting his home equity line of credit, and not saying that he can't do this, and go seek investment opportunity, what he did is he saw the opportunity to be able to pay down his current debt quicker by transferring all his current debt that had an average of 25% interest rate, right?
Yep.
To his HELOC that has a what? 8%. So he went from 25%, his debt went from having 25% debt to 8% debt. So what does that do for you? It helps you pay it off quicker. It saves you money.
I figured, we've paid $8,000 towards it. We would have had to pay closer to $12,000 to be in the same spot and that same amount of time.
Yeah.
So already I'm $4,000 ahead.
Yep.
And
that's
growing.
that's what credit does for you. It works for you. I mean, here we are, right? I told this to someone the other day. I think I told Frank this. I told him that he has to create another Frank. He has to create another Frank, right? And what I meant by that is that he should start investing his money.
Right.
And that's kind of like what you did. Here you are, right? Here we are working. But basically by you making that move that you made and got that home equity line of credit and transferred your debt from 25% average interest rate to 8% average interest rate, you could say you almost created a mini Jesse that's working, smarter, you could say. And then I don't know if it makes sense or not, but like whenever you buy a house, right? Think about this. Someone that's renting, person A that's renting, they are paying rent and it's not going anywhere. Person B that's not renting, whenever you're paying rent, what it's doing? It's paying down your principal. It's going towards something. That's like you creating another little channel,
Oh, absolutely.
And then it goes on and on and on. Whenever you purchase a home, you could, get with your CPA, but you could write off the interest, So there's another benefit there from buying a home, right? It's not just you working, you're creating all these extra little channels to help you out in life, to help you get ahead in life. And we could go on and on and on with the benefits of, like, for example, buying a home or just leveraging your credit different ways.
Sure.
To get that upper edge. You got to get that upper edge, to get ahead quicker.
So one of my best friends watching what has happened with mine, because we're that kind of close, and I've actually showed him all my numbers. He's turning around about to do something very similar.
Nice.
To put himself on a similar track. So it's one of those, by the way, if you make the first step, and what I really want them out there to know is if they're willing to make that first step, I know it's challenging. You get to be thankful in multiple ways, because I got an opportunity to be helped by you. Now I turned around.
And same thing. I didn't invent it, right? I got helped as well. Yeah.
I didn't help. I didn't invent it. You didn't invent it. Hey, you know what? My friend's not going to be the one to invent it. But we sat down and had that conversation. I was like, look, man, this is the opportunity you need to do, but you need to make sure if you do this, you do this. And that you have a goal with this involved. And he's like, yeah, you're right. And he just had his first child. So and that seems to spark a lot of people, that kid coming around, And, I told him, he says, how long do you think it could be in a house? I was like, and a new home, because he wants a bigger home. He's got a little bitty place right now. I was like, 6 months to a year, you could be right where you want to be and debt free from the way I look at it. And that's the thing is that, it takes a little bit to make that. And I know everybody's scared when they start, but do be. Just be smart about it is the thing. I mean, I've seen so many, different success stories, but here's another one. So like a lot of people, like your credit, right? A lot of people are afraid to get into debt, right? Sure.
I would be afraid to get into debt if I was getting into bad debt, just maxing out my credit cards, going out shopping, vacation, stuff like that. So, but getting into, good debt, right? Getting into debt with good debt. There's nothing wrong with that. Some of the most successful people, like Donald Trump, right? All these individuals, how much debt do they have? They're in debt by the millions. But what kind of debt? It's not debt from, they're not in debt, from going out to eat and vacations and this and that and that. they're in debt with good debt, right?
Right.
Commercial buildings, residential real estate, and just it's so on and so on and so on. But anyways, I got to see one of my clients specifically, Felipe is his name, and he always wanted to invest into real estate. And after he got into our program, it's crazy. It's crazy seeing him. I have a couple of houses myself, right? And I don't focus on it full time. He does now.
Right.
So, and not that it's a competition, but it was really cool to see him, also pass me up. I mean, he has well over 10 houses. That's how many I have, 10.
Right.
He has well over 10 houses. And it's cool to see that because I saw him get into our program. So he got into our program, no homes, no wealth really. He was a fireman. And so anyways, his goal was always to invest into real estate. He got out of our program, and then now he's no longer in the fire department because now he's just doing full-time real estate. But it's so awesome seeing him leverage his credit for the real estate that he did. He's doing a little bit of a commercial as well. He's doing wholesaling. I mean, he got deep into real estate. So just seeing it. How he leveraged it.
Right.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
I got a client. Her name was Gabriella, and one of the very first partner referrals that I brought in here from, I want to say it was Century 21.
Yeah.
She and I was looking up some of the notes on her because I remember her case really well, because she bought a house right during COVID, right, and she got a lot of equity in her house, and at the end of last year or the very beginning of this year, right there in that time period, she realized that her daughter was moving out, her granddaughter was moving out. She's going to be her in that big house. Wow. So she decided she was going to downsize her house. When she downsized her house, she was able to hand the money to put a down payment to her daughter and her son-in-law.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, you're already moving your family forward. Yeah. Isn't that amazing? I mean, just in a matter of a couple of years, she went from, I don't know if I can buy a house, to now looking at her kid and going, here's 30 grand, go put 20% down. Yeah. And I'm like, whoa, that's crazy.
That's awesome. And speaking about, you said she was referred to us by a partner, right?
Yep.
So speaking about partners, we're definitely grateful for our partners. There's a lot of partners, meaning, companies that partner with us, whether it's car dealerships, lenders, mortgage bankers, mortgage brokers that, trust us to take care of their clients. I mean, we get so many clients that are referred to us by our, partners. And so we're definitely grateful for you guys that, out of all the companies out there that you could choose from, the credit repair companies that you trust us with your clients. Because, credit repair, it's a process. I mean, it is a process.
It is.
And, we're grateful that, even our clients, buy into our process because it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, we ask all of our clients to give us what? To give us 6+ months. And then we also tell our clients what the game plan is. And we're definitely grateful for our clients that they buy into our game plan.
Right.
Because if it wasn't for them buying into the game plan, they wouldn't achieve the results that they would achieve. Because part of the, ratio, you could say, to achieving credit success is, yes, someone like MSI attempted to remove as many of the derogatory items that our clients have on their credit report. But the other part of the equation is the clients buying into our game plan and doing their part, right? Being disciplined and not getting new debt, being disciplined and not getting new negative items on their credit report and getting new collections, new late payments, whatever that might be. Staying put and if they can, hold off and don't get any inquiries when you're on our program and so on, right? There's so many, things that go into our coaching session that we have with our clients, opening up lines of credit when they don't have lines of credit. So definitely grateful for our partners, like I was mentioning earlier, and our clients, believing in us and believing in our program and believing in our game plan and then implementing that into their life.
Because the truth of the matter is, whether it's a partner, whether it's a client, whether it's a client, a partner's client, this is not about us we're not just doing a thing for you. You have to go through this process with us.
And it's hard.
And it can be hard. You get attached to these people. You get attached to all the clients. And, I don't know about the rules of saying thanks to partners out there, but, I know that we work with Century 21, Judge Fyatt. All those people over there have been really great to us. We work with Keller Williams, Central 75. We work with Keller Williams, Frisco Stars, and DPR.
Yep.
And I can't tell you how many classes I've seen and JP and Associates in North Texas. Those are some of our big partners. And I bet you we have done hundreds of just credit classes, teaching credit to people through them coming to us and trusting us to teach their people about credit. And you can't say thank you enough for trusting us that way, because in the long run, we get to help more and more people. And every person you help step up from where they were, is that's a trophy and a crown.
Exactly. And how about security clearance? I've seen that story multiple times where someone comes to us, a client comes to us, and they're trying to get, employment with the government, and they're going to do security clearance, and they come to us to help them out with their credit because if they apply right now, they're going to get denied. And how many stories do we have where after going through our program, now they're able to get their dream job? I've seen that so many times. I've seen success stories from our clients where someone's trying to get custody of their child, and they're just trying to provide a better, you could say, atmosphere for their kid. And I guess, I don't know, they're trying to present it to the judge, I guess, to try to, get custody.
I actually have that conversation.
Do you have a situation like that?
I seriously have a lady who called in here one day, right? So here's the story, and just the stories that you end up hearing from these people just break your heart sometimes. So a lady calls up, tells me that she needs to refinance her home. She lives in a house. She's getting divorced. And there are two people on the phone while I'm talking. So I'm trying to figure out who this other person is. It is her soon-to-be ex-mother-in-law who is on the phone with her. And I was like, so, what's going on? And you go, no, my mother-in-law, my mother-in-law is helping me get out of the house. I'm like, your mother-in-law, like your soon-to-be ex-husband's mother? And he goes, yeah. And she goes, my son's not doing the right thing right now, and I want to make sure the right thing is done. And I'm like, I need to record this because I didn't. But, it was one of those fantastic stories. Well, he wanted the money from the house.
Okay.
And so he was forcing through the courts to sell the house. And they called like on the 3rd of the month, and they were going to go in the beginning of the next month to the court. I was like, you got to do things in the next couple of days, and there's nothing we can do for you. But let me tell you what you can do right now, and then we all pray. And I went through a bunch of things. You need to be on this card. You need to pay this off. You need to do this. And they did.
That's awesome.
They did everything I told them to. Like, they called me every couple of hours for like 4 days.
I bet you they were ecstatic, right? I mean, that's what makes, I think, when you achieve a goal, right? The bigger the journey, I think, makes it better whenever you finally achieve it. So that's an awesome story.
100 points per bureau.
300 points in total. Wow.
Less than 30 days.
Wow.
And I'm like, they're like, oh, thank you. I'm like, no, don't thank me. I didn't do nothing. Y'all did that. And then the next thing I know, I get called by their lawyer, and the lawyer says, would you be willing to talk to the judge? They pulled me in on the hearing.
Oh, wow.
On a Saturday morning, I was on the phone with a judge, sworn in. To give a testimony, and the judge asked me, so how hard is it to get 100 points in your credit report? And my explanation was this, because she was asking for extended amount of time to get her score high enough to be able to qualify for the loan. And the guy was wanting to sell right away. I said, sir, what she did yesterday over the last 30 days is considered a miracle in most places. And he went, what? And I was like, it's a miracle. I didn't think it worked. I didn't think it worked that fast. I knew what I told her would work. But she was working on, you gave her an order. She did it so well. She did something I'd never seen happen before. So if you're going to give her an extension, going to give anybody an extension, this lady's earned it.
That's awesome.
And the judge is like, okay. And he ruled like that. I got off, but off of there, they just had me in for a couple minutes. But they gave her another 3-month extension. And by the end of that 3 months, she had refinanced the house. And she had her home. And this is not, this is just someone who was, how it happens. When you divorce and you start killing credit cards because it was joint cards, it's nobody's fault where they were at.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I mean, and they got the house, they kept the house. It was just one of those stories that at the end of it, you just sit back and go, I did something good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's my story about that. It was one of those where you're like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And it was just somebody who and we didn't in the first month, we didn't work their account.
Yeah.
We just gave them advice.
Yeah.
And now she came back and we worked for the next 3 months, tore a bunch of stuff off of her account, which was amazing for her and helped the process.
Yeah.
But man, that was a moment.
Cool story. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, and there's so many stories out there. I mean, even no story is too small either. I mean, just even stories where someone's able to refinance their car, right?
Sure.
I mean, you know, we've had clients where their payment is $800 and then they're able to refinance because they had bad credit at one time, and when they financed their vehicle and their interest rate was 11-12%, and they able to refinance, you know, back whenever interest rates were in the 2s and 3s, and they got their car payment so low. I mean, it's just on and on with the different stories that we could go on. I mean, credit just makes, I mean, huge difference. It just helps out in so many different areas.
You're talking about the little differences that can happen from your credit and why, you know, even if you think, oh, I'll get my credit up some point in time.
Yeah.
We had one of our partners ask us to break down costs.
Yeah.
What would it be if somebody wanted to had this group of things if they were at a 600 or a 660? Mm-hmm. When I was done, I sat down there staring at the numbers, and it came out that somebody at 600 paying the exact same bills as somebody at 660, the same car, same house, same everything. It was like $3,500 a year. Wow. Is what it came out to just through insurance and all the rates and different things like that. So you're right. It can be something as small as, I want to get myself in a better place. Maybe you have the house you want, the car you want. Yeah. Maybe you have a great family and all your family and friends around, but your credit slipped. Yeah. How much extra are you paying for all the little bills? Mm-hmm. How much extra? What else could you do this next year with an extra $3,500? Yeah. Do you like Aruba?
Yeah.
You don't know? Well, that's possible to go find out whether you like the place or not.
Yeah. And here's a story that I don't like these specific stories, but unfortunately we get a lot of these. It's a lot of people, they don't fix their credit until their back is against the wall.
Right.
You know, if you do have bad credit, I hope that maybe this, podcast encourages you to do something about it and start now. It's better to start now versus whenever you need it. But we do get a lot of that.
There's never a right time.
Yeah. How many clients do we get where they come to us because they got denied by a house? And we even had it where they're in the contract for a house and they're about to close in 60 days and they want us to fix their credit in 60 days. So have we done it? Absolutely. Has it not happened because they only give us 60 days?
Sure.
Yes, it has.
And we warn them about that too. We're like, you're asking for miracles at this point. Now, they may happen, but we all need to pray during this process.
And those are love-hate, because if we do help them achieve that, okay, great. And we've helped out a lot of clients that come to us. They have a house under contract. They need to close 60 days. They don't qualify right now. If you don't get my scores up, I'm going to lose my $50,000 deposit that I put on the house. And so we have so many stories where we do end up helping them out. But definitely don't put yourself in that situation, right? Definitely take care of your credit now, that you don't need your credit. Don't wait till last minute, because credit repair is a process. It's a process. You never know how long it's going to take. Your client, the story that you just gave right now, the fact that she was able to go 300 points total in 30 days. I mean, that does not happen.
Well, she also had the backing of her mother-in-law who helped pay like $25,000 off. Yeah. I mean, there was a whole lot of help that came. She didn't do that. I gave her the advice on what needed to be done, but she had money bags behind her in that one. Yeah.
And that always helps.
That helps a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess the thing is that this is a time of hope. This time of year is about hope. And if you're looking for hope, you can make it. And don't doubt that it's not something for you. Don't put off the time. Somebody once told me this is the biggest failure we have in life is thinking it's not a good time.
Yeah.
It's never a good time. It's never going to be the right time.
Exactly.
But it's going to be your time. You got to take that first step. Let somebody help us, whether it's us, whether it's another company, you go to a financial advisor, you talk to a good close friend. I actually don't care which person you take a moment and ask for help. Do so. Take that step, because if I wouldn't have talked to somebody about having bad credit when I wanted to buy a house the first time, I would have never met you. If I wouldn't have met you, I wouldn't have all the stuff that's in the situation I'm in right now. That's going to be your story. The question is when are you going to get on the road and find out what your story says?
Yep. And then even if you are in a situation and you might not be ready, but you have questions, you have questions about your situation, you have questions about credit, reach out to us, follow us, reach out to us.
Absolutely.
There's so many clients, right? That's where the relationship starts, is they ask us questions. And whenever the time is right for you, reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to help you out. But yeah, I mean, for some people, right? I mean, it's just kind of like you were talking about your home equity line of credit. I mean, a lot of things have to go right, for people to make, certain moves. So if the time is not right for you, it's okay. If we could help out in any other kind of way, maybe by just guiding you through certain situations that you're in.
Sure.
Because I mean, there's so many situations like that where people reach out to us, where we're able to help out clients and they're able to achieve success stories. And they didn't even physically go into our program.
At all,
just our knowledge helped them out. So don't be shy to give us a call, comment, on any of our social media channels about anything. We'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have and help you out any way that we can.
We're thankful for y'all trusting us for your business. We also want to prove that by showing how we are thankful for when you have questions about credit. Please post a comment. Give a phone call, whatever it is. Even if it's not the right time, like Bossman said, about to do this program, find out, ask us, and give us a chance to help you out, because the only way we stay, doing this every day is we get to keep helping people, and that's it.
Yep.
That's where we're at in the world.
That's where it starts with our clients.
Yes, every day.
But yeah, thank you very much to all of our clients. All of our partners. We're definitely 100% grateful for you. Without you, we wouldn't have anything that we
absolutely.
have here. Yeah, MSI would not exist. So, anything else, Jesse?
No, I think that's it. Thank you for watching MSI Wealth Chronicles, building legacies one episode at a time. This was us saying thank you to you, and we look forward to hearing from you in the future.